In this video, we're going to talk about real estate investing for beginners. So if you're new to real estate or you're interested in real estate investing, make sure you watch this whole video. I have some very important tips for you to get started. Of course, you can also watch the other videos on my channel. A lot of them talk about real estate investing and other forms of real estate and other forms of investments. So the first thing that I would like to discuss is kind of defining your goal. And I think this is when, people kind of, when they get started in real estate investing, they just think of it as real estate investment as a transactional thing. And I think it's important for people to kind of like focus on the bigger perspective and the bigger goal and use real estate investing as a tool to get there, a tool to reach their goal. So the number one goal I think that everybody should have is achieving financial freedom. This is something that's inevitable. We all want to get there. We all want to retire. We all want to travel, spend more time with friends and family. So this is something that is critical, and that's what you should focus on. So that should be everybody's goal. After that, once you've achieved financial freedom, then you can work on anything else that you want. But I think this is critical. If you've already achieved it, then you can define some other goals beside achieving financial freedom. And then normally when I determine this goal, when I define this goal, I use something that's, I call it that FIAT goal, F-I-A-T goal. And it stands for, it's an acronym that stands really for focusing. F is for focusing, something that will help you focus and know that you're on the right track, and also let you know that you're off track. The other thing is something that's inspiring. That's the I in Fiat. And you want to get something that's going to be more than just money. You don't want to say, oh, I just want to have X dollars in my bank account. That's not really relevant. You want to have some goal that's going to make it interesting for you and inspiring for you to achieve something that you would love to share with other people. Finally, achieving, you want something that is going to be an achievement and an accomplishment to once you reach that goal. You don't want something that is pretty mundane and then that is not that exciting really. So you want to have some effort that you need to put into it so that you have this sense of accomplishment and achievement at the end. I mean, that's how I'm wired. I know some people may be wired a little bit differently, where it's fine for them to arrive at their goal without having too much effort. For me, like, I enjoy the journey and the effort going there. And finally, T in Fiat stands for tracking. So the ability to track your progress towards that goal, and then making sure that you have a way of monitoring your progress. So I think this is something that's very important to me. I tend to like tracking progress and tracking things. So this is good if this is something that works for you as well. So this is something that you can implement. So that's what I call a Fiat goal. So to help you better define or define better goals for yourself so that you have a higher chance of achieving them. So I think this is important. The next thing that you should be looking at is your resources. Typically you want to look at money, how much money you have to invest in real estate. You want to look at how much time you have to invest in this particular in real estate investing. And then finally, you want to look at capabilities. So capabilities could be skills that you personally have. It could be access to information. It could be access to individuals or partners that will help you achieve your goal or achieve a specific work in a specific strategy. So these resources are critical, and they're going to help you define kind of which strategy are most likely to be successful for you. So if you're working like a full-time job or 60 hours a week and stuff like that, it's kind of pointless for you to go after a strategy that's going to require a lot of time on your part, right? So focus on strategies that don't require that much time, so that you can, and then once you achieve your goal of financial freedom, then you can spend more time towards other strategies that really interest you. So that's my recommendation here. I see a lot of people that they underestimate the amount of time that's needed for some of these strategies, and then they end up not being successful because they didn't spend enough time working their strategy that they had selected. Same thing with money. So money is a little bit easier somewhat to figure out, but if you need a lot of money to get into a particular to implement a particular strategy, it's going to be hard for you to get into that field. So if you're interested in commercial real estate and commercial development, it requires a lot of money. Yes, you can find investors that are going to come in and work with you, but typically you're going to have to put some money up front to get things rolling, attract some of these investors to equity partners to join your project. So it's not that easy. If you don't have that much money, I recommend a strategy that require a little bit less funds initially. You can still get partners and stuff like that to scale up, but really this is the focus on something that you can handle. There's no point in going into a big pond when you're a small fish. Go to the right size pond so that you can be successful and eventually kind of grow into other areas as well. This is one of the reasons why I personally and my family, we actually stopped investing in California and decided to invest out of state, because our money, the funds that we had available, were much better used, had a higher return, because our capital really meant something for some of these markets. But when we were investing in California, really we were the small fish in a big pond. There were people that had way more money than we did, so they didn't have to. It didn't cost them as much to do these projects. So again, find the right size market for you, and again, that strategy is going to depend on the resources that you have. Capabilities I've talked a little bit about already, but if you have access to special information or special skills that you have, if you're a doctor, maybe you want to invest in kind of like medical offices or nursing home or something like that. So this could be something that, if you have a specialty like that, that might be something that you could leverage to attract partners, investors to invest in that, or some information that you have that I don't have. So for example, I wouldn't invest in a medical office without having a partner that knows that market, because I don't know anything about it. I can bring the money and I can learn, but I don't know anything about it, so I'm not going to go and invest in that. So, but if you do, that could be something that you could leverage to invest in that strategy. So once you've identified your goals and your resources, it's really about looking at the strategy. So in my book, I talk about all these strategies, and I kind of rank them by the amount of time that's needed to get them off the ground and the risk involved in these strategies. And I call that the strategy quadrant in my book. And then basically with that, you can identify that if you're getting started, if you're a beginner in real estate investing, you want to start in the lower left-hand corner of the quadrant. So this is the ones that don't require as much time and also are have little risk, so that you can get started, be successful on some easier strategies, and then move on to strategies that are a little bit more risky, require more capital, and have more moving parts. So that's my recommendation in terms of the strategy to choose there. So now that you have the strategy, you want to find the right market and the right investment criteria. Again, in my book, I go into details about all the different criteria that you have to identify. There's too much to mention here, but really you want to identify the right market for these opportunities. Where can you find these opportunities? It's a little bit like hunting. So you want to make sure that if you're hunting a particular animal or something like that, or if you're fishing or something like that, you want to go in the right river or the right lake or the right ocean in order to find the protein that you're looking for. So this is the same for real estate investing. If you're looking for cash flowing property, if you're looking for different kinds of investment, then there are some specific market that would really work for you, and this is where you want to go. So this is basically it. I think once you have that, it's a question of going in there and start investing and start investigating some of these markets and these strategies. And then it's really to get started, get working on implementing the strategy. You will learn a lot just by doing, so I think it's very important to really start taking action, and then it's continuously tweaking that what I call the triangle, which is tweaking the strategy, the resources, and the market, and continuously adjusting until you find the sweet spot for your investment, for your strategy. So thank you for listening. I hope you learned something and you learned some good tips about beginning real estate investment strategies. If you are interested in more strategies and more tools and more lessons around real estate, make sure that you watch the other videos on my channel. Make sure that you like this video and subscribe to my channel so that we can notify you whenever we have a new video that's being published. So thank you for watching.